Hello and welcome. My name is Stephanie Dawn, and I'm the chair of the Million Mom Movement Council. And welcome to Fierce Friday. We come together every Friday in community to really come together to share our voices, to share our hearts, to share our passions around what's going on in the world in regards to our food, the corruption of our food sources, and how it is that we can create a better world, really. That's what we're here today. We are fierce moms and dads, grandparents, and aunties and uncles, and concerned caregivers that are deeply concerned about what's going on in the world of the United States, Canada, and beyond. And so every week we come together to either focus on health or we focus on wealth. And today we're going to be focusing on wealth. And I want to share about why. Okay, so we are over 1,000 moms, dads, concerned caregivers in over 100 communities, reaching out to 10 families to help turn pantries clean, green, non-GMO, and organic. All right. So those 1,000 people, that's the metrics of our millions, of our Million Mom movement, right? So those 1,000 people are those of us who have become Purium brand partners, who are sharing what we know, starting conversations, and helping others to get their families healthy and wealthy. All right. So before I bring on our special guest, I want to pass the baton to my fellow council member and her daughter, Jody Parker and Leora, because they're going to read the Million Mom Movement Pledge, which we just recently rewrote this year to freshen it up a little bit. And I'm so happy that you're here with us today, Jody and Leora. Go for it.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Thank you, everyone. Leora is dressed up as Artemis, goddess of the hunt today. She wanted to make sure everyone knew that. You see her crown. All right, I'm going to share my screen so that you can see the pledge, everyone. So when this comes up, this is millionmommovement.info. This is our website. In order to find the pledge, you go under join. And takes a second. Right here, all this information that just comes to us. It goes to nobody else, so you don't have to worry about us sharing your information with anybody. And right down here, you see the pledge. And Leora loves to read the pledge, which is why she's joining me today. And we've decided we're going to split it up between the two of us today. We're gonna tag team it. So I'm going to start. Million Mom Movement Pledge. I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family.
I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients.
I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living.
I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations.
I am committed to sharing this movement of many. I am the Million Mom Movement. Now we need to tell everybody why mom is all in caps. What is that movement of many?
Movement of many means dads, moms, uncles, aunts, teachers, whoever wants to join can, as long as they care about clean living and their kids.
There you go. There you have it. I'm going to stop the screen share, toss it back to you, Stephanie. Thank you.
Amazing and precious. We love you, Leora. Thank you. And your goddess of the hunt is really bringing it today. Thank you for sharing that with us. That gave me chills, actually. I'm really, yeah, thanks for sharing that, you guys. So I'd now like to bring on my fellow council member, Carmela Velarde. Aloha, Carmela. Thank you for being here today. She's going to share about our scholarships and the petition, if you would.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Million Mom Movement community. Movement of Many is also children. So I love when people bring their children on. I see a few today. And we're going to get to talk about the scholarships. So the scholarships are for caregivers. So we're looking for people in our community who are creating an impact in their own life, and they want to create a bigger message with our superfood lifestyle. So we are looking for people within the United States and Canada who are business forward. So we are looking for people who are specifically wanting the mentorship, the business, and will use it. And we as the council are your upline. So we have a great platform for you to follow. and you really have to illustrate economic need. That's another big part of it, but you're getting $2,500 worth of organic superfoods. So it's 4 months worth of superfoods. Hold on, am I correct? Actually, $1,250 in retail value organic superfoods. And you can find that in the same place where Jody had pulled up the pledge. And you just look under scholarships, under outreach is the tab. So there is an application there. And if you are a sponsor, you are to help your person who could be a customer, but not a brand partner. So only customers are allowed, or people who are completely not even involved yet with our superfood brand partnership. So we're really excited to have offered already over $300,000 worth of scholarship money to recipients. So I will share screen for the next part, which is the petition. So I have the petition up here, and I can post it, or if Jody might want to post it. Here, I have it as well. So we have reached 95% of our goal. But as you can see, we want your voices here. So add comments. So when you're actually signing it, add comments, because people like to read who are signing these types of petitions. And what is it about? It's to remove glyphosate from the #1 product in America that has the most parts per billion glyphosate in the food. And where do we find that? We found that is the #1 food that moms feed their babies, and how elders in elderly homes, they're also eating. And so both ends of the age right there are most susceptible to having issues with, they need the nutrition. They don't need the deficiencies caused by the blocking of nutrition coming in through the glyphosate, this herbicide that's banned in 20 cities, and it's sprayed on 70% of the food in America. This is not okay. So in the council, we've created this petition, and we're going to move on to another one. So help us on this mission in creating more awareness. So I'm going to stop share. And I think you added it. Thank you very much. So I'm going to pass the mic back over to Stephanie.
Awesome. Thanks, Carmela, so much. And yes, the petition is on our website. Go to millionmommovement.info to learn more about the Million Mom Movement. And now I would like to bring on Naeva Flory, who I lovingly call our social media maven because she's so incredible. Naeva, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Welcome.
Awesome. I am so honored to hop on with you all, and I'm excited to share more about our social media. So if you aren't already a part of our Facebook community, we do have a Facebook page, and I'm going to buckle up so I almost fell. Facebook page, Million Mom Movement, and the Million Mom Movement Official. So we'd love to invite you in there. If you're not there already, it's a great place to be, to share your story. If you are wanting to leverage, widen your reach, it's a great place to just come and share your voice and feel heard, and maybe practice a little, because it's a closed community with our Million Mom Movement. So we'd like to invite you in there. Secondly, we also have our Million Mom Movement on Instagram, and that is where I am able to promote your post and reshare what it is that you guys share through your stories there. These are the hashtags that we're looking for, so please tag us at Million Mom Movement. As you can see, we're also on Twitter, and we have an amazing YouTube channel. So if ever you miss one of our Fierce Fridays, you can find it on our YouTube channel. And I would like to share that on Instagram, there is a link in our bio. And if you're ever looking for any of these links that we mentioned today, for signing the petition, for signing the pledge, for finding our website, for coming on this Fierce Friday Zoom, all the links are in the link in our bio on Instagram. So please use that. And can't wait to hear this amazing presentation today. So passing it back to you, Stephanie.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Naeva. Yeah, we're on all platforms, and please follow us and share us with your friends, your teams, concerned citizens. That's how we're going to grow here. So let's dive in. Do we have Kristina Ammon on here? I can't see the whole view here. Let me get into the gallery. There she is. Woohoo! Yay. Awesome. So I had the distinct pleasure of being invited to Kristina Ammon's amazing legacy leadership embodiment retreat for my last week on the island of Hawaii. And this is something that was a long time coming, many years actually, for a couple reasons. So when I met Kristina Ammon 5+ years ago and Erica Kloster, these two women, they're not on my team, they're side team sisters. And like, I take that very seriously. Like they really felt like sisters, like they really felt like kin to me. And the Million Mom movement is something that we totally vibed on together for many, many, many years, long before I was ever the chair. And for all those years, these gorgeous goddesses kept inviting me to the Big Island, and I'd never been. So I finally went in March with my mom for her 80th birthday, and we started dreaming together about the possibility of my coming back with my two children and making something happen. And it happened, and boy, was it incredible. Kristina Ammon is a 2-star crown. She is the wife of an amazing man, Soul, who I got to meet last week for the first time after hearing about him for a really long time. She has 2 gorgeous children that my kids and I just absolutely adore. And she's a steward of the land. And Kristina, I'm not even going to try and repeat this. Will you say it in Hawaiian? I tried to learn a lot of Hawaiian while I was there, but you're a steward of, will you repeat it for me?
Mahiai Kihalani.
Oh, so beautiful, the way it just rolls off your tongue. She's a lover of growing food, flowers, and herbs. She's all about earth play, music, and growth of all kinds. And, the growth that we're here to talk about today is the extraordinary growth of her business. I have watched this woman rise through the ranks in awe, really, as she has raised leaders up under her. 2 crowns now. She has 2 crowns underneath her. And she's just, salt of the earth, beautiful human. We got to play, we got to pray, we got to connect for the weeks leading up to her retreat and then during the retreat. And so welcome to Fierce Friday, Kristina. I'm so excited to have you here.
Thank
Aloha.
you so much. Aloha. Thank you so much, Stephanie Dawn. It's such a pleasure to be here. Let me know, how's my reception and my sound so far?
Pretty good.
I'm not at home, so I'm in an unfamiliar place. Yeah. Thank you. Beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And I love your backdrop. It's
lovely. Wonderful.
Terrific. So I wonder if you'd be willing to share a little bit of who you were before you found Purium, because this is an interesting story. I know a little bit, but will you unpack that a bit for us about what the woman that you were and, are more of today and how that led you to Purium? Oh, you're muted, honey.
There we go. Lovely. Yeah, thank you. So straight out of college, I did a permaculture design certification course, and that was where it all clicked for me. I knew what I was doing with the rest of my life. I was going to somehow steward land and regenerate the soils, heal the land, choose land that had been damaged in some way, usually by agriculture or logging or whatever, and bring it back to life, to a Garden of Eden with permaculture practices. That was just really clear to me. I didn't know how I was going to do that, but I just felt after everything I had learned that this was the most purposeful use of my life and most enjoyable. I really adored all the people I met in the permaculture movement. So long story short, I moved out here to this island and met my husband, who was already conveniently doing the same thing. So we have just continued to, walk that path, one foot in front of the other. Well, as it turns out, we are healing old sugarcane plantation land that had been logged, and the native forests have, been cut down and chemical agriculture was used. And we've started from scratch. So if anybody else out here is homesteading or farming or, doing permaculture or regenerating soils on any level, we are big dreamers and very ambitious people. So we kind of went big, and it turns out to be an enormously expensive endeavor. So we were, toiling, just doing whatever we could, whatever hustles we could to, earn the money to put a fence around so that we could grow food without the pigs destroying it. And then it was like, I think we didn't have electricity for the first 10 years. And then we got a solar system. And so very off-grid living. And then we started having babies. We home birthed 2 children in our greenhouse because we actually we kept putting the money into developing the land and the orchards and the gardens. We didn't actually ever build a house. So we put up a greenhouse in time for our first birth, thinking this will be our temporary home. But if anybody else who's gone down this path knows, the temporary home ends up being the permanent home forever, or at least for a very long time. So yeah, we still haven't built a house yet, but we just renovated the greenhouse. So now it's this like extraordinary cedar lined windowed palace, tiled floor. It's a very fancy greenhouse. A bunch of people on this call were actually there just recently as part of the pre-retreat. And we're upgrading some of our other dwellings. So before Purium, I was the stay-at-home mom. We just fell right into traditional gender roles because my husband did all the hard machinery and he has a farming background, whereas I didn't. And I was cooking and cleaning and taking care of the babies, and that just made sense. I was happy. I was stay-at-home mom. We were homeschooling. We were living life on our terms. However, we were really struggling financially. And as much as I wanted to just accept where we were, it was really taking a toll on our marriage, on our quality of life and living, on our how we related with our children and each other and ourselves and our self-care. So I was watching our health decline, and I was watching the farm become overgrown because we really weren't able to pull off what we were endeavoring to do. As much as we, were doing what we love, the money wasn't quite following, at least until Purium came along. So that's pretty much, where I was before Purium.
Great. So a friend reached out to you and shared a code with you. Is that that's how it happened? Yeah.
Yeah. Eventually I had heard about it for maybe a year, and I went from why on earth would I ever do that? I don't see the connection at all, to over time starting to unpack and unfold and see, oh wait, this is what I've been praying for. I've been praying for a way to get not the kind of money I could get from doing a job, which I wasn't planning to put my children in childcare to do a job anyway, but I was looking for some sort of quantum leap in my finances. And that would have been the only way we could have held on to the land and continued our vision. It's starting to rain here, so I'll just take that as a blessing. It's a very light sprinkle. Blessing this vision right when I stepped into Purium. And yeah, Monica, finally, I kind of had that, I kept saying yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And finally surrendered to, I should at least try this. I'm hearing about some other people having a lot of success, and I should give it a try and see what happens. So
awesome. Wonderful. And so share with us, when did you join? Was it 5 years ago? 4 years ago?
It'll be 5 years in October.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. So soon coming up on 5 years. So talk to us about the past 5 years. How was it for you in terms of, let's talk about your run to Diamond. How was that for you? And then we'll go beyond after that.
So I was pretty skeptical about this working. And I told myself, if I don't see success right away, I'll probably quit. Right. This is before we had what we now have, the Fast Start program, which is brilliant because it's going to be the easiest way to keep somebody in the game is to have that initial success. So I had that awareness that if I don't see success, I'm probably going to bail and just go back to gardening. So I jumped in with all 2 feet, both feet, and was very coachable. You know, even though I was skeptical, I was like, I'm going to give it my all. I want to see this work. If I recognize that doesn't work for everybody. So I want to, and I know it's a smaller percentage of who it works for, but I want to be one of those. So here I am, tell me what to do. And I just followed everything Monica and Sarah told me to do. You're going to go live. You're going to share your story. You're going to do this. Now you're going to interview someone else. And every time it was a growth edge. Every time it was uncomfortable, but I did it anyway, because I really early on recognized that if you lean into the discomfort, that's where you grow. That's where you have success. I don't know if I'm going to be able to last through this rain. So I'm going to move and have you do something else for like 1 minute while I move in under a shelter.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do what you need to do. I'm really glad you brought that up about if it's that you've worked through growth edges, because you hear that a lot in this business. You hear that, you know, this is the personal development with a compensation plan. And I just want to underscore that, highlight, underline, bold, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. That's certainly been my experience as well, for all kinds of reasons. You know, no matter where you go, there you are in any business, really. But there's something about the network marketing model where it sort of amplifies everything that you need to work through, you know? And so, and this even comes up on the council for us, you know, and the ladies know, my council members know, like, I don't mince words. I talk turkey with them all the time about what I'm witnessing and, you know, what I see as their growth edge. And we support each other. We love each other through the difficulties, through the hard parts. And so I can only imagine, Kristina, that that's what it must have been like for you with Sarah and Monica. And oh yeah, there you are. Okay, great. You're a little bit in the dark, but it's okay. At least we can make you out, honey. It's okay.
I know, I guess I could move to where there's a worse background, but better lighting.
We can still see your face. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. So seeking,
Okay.
it's almost like you want to seek comfort, you know, it's like if you're not having those discomforting feelings, then you're not going to be growing. You're not going to be maybe even earning to the degree that you could possibly be earning. Is that true, Kristina?
Absolutely. I mean, if you're comfortable, your business is not working, right? We just heard Seema share that on a training the other day, and that just really resonated for me. It's not really meant to be comfortable. This business isn't hard, but it is uncomfortable because we have to really face ourselves and our growth, excuse me, our growth edges.
Mm-hmm.
And that's scary and messy and hard and can be painful. And so that's the only thing that's hard about this business is growing, but that's also the best part. And we have each other. You know, we have this extraordinary community of people who are cheering each other on and lifting each other up and, you know, edifying each other the way you edified me. And, you know, I forgot to edify you, but I am just so honored and delighted to be friends with you, to be colleagues with you, to be in growth with you, to be not co-parenting, but, you know, sharing children who are friends. And, you know, you're an extraordinary leader as well. So when we have reflections, sharing these versions of ourselves that we're stepping into, it's so much easier to do. And that's why community is everything. So back to my diamond run, and I don't think I'm even fully out of the rain enough. I'm just gonna make another little move here.
Sure.
It's funny that I'm sharing my off-grid pass because I'm actually like on my friend's off-grid farm right now, where she's teaching our children. How's my lighting?
Oh, that's great light. That's perfect.
Oh, okay,
light.
great. My whole screen just got really dark, but I'm just gonna go with it. So yeah, they're at an art camp while we're here working, Erica and I.
I love it.
So
Hashtag mom life.
yeah, exactly. So my diamond run was 5 months from start. And it went quick. I had no idea what I was doing. Like I said, I was coachable. I said, tell me what to do. I did all the things, the widen your reach, which it wasn't called at the time, but I went, I was doing social media, which I didn't even do social media before. I didn't even have Wi-Fi before this. So that was all, growth edge. and uncomfortable, but I did it anyway. And then it ended up being fun, and then I started to realize what an incredible platform it is to reach people and inspire people and touch people's lives. And, when you start to get that feedback, you go around and people are like, wow, thank you so much for continuing to show up. I've had somebody say, I have my morning coffee and like turn on Instagram to see like what Kristina has to say next, that I'm like her morning hour. So just knowing that we have a way to reach people like that and touch their lives and bring awareness and inspiration and help uplift people and bring joy. That's what allowed me to step into doing social media, even though it was an uncomfortable thing. So I did that. I reached out to my network. I did, worked my list. I did all the things I was told to do. Hit diamond in 5 months and really had no real idea what I was doing, but, brought some amazing people along for the ride who helped me get there.
Fabulous. Amazing. You're so good at social networking now. I love following your stories as well. You're so creative. I learned things from her. I text her, I'm like, how'd you do that? So isn't it, it's phenomenal when you think back to who you were of like not being a social networker at all to like being this total pro now and like finding the creativity and the fun in it. Right, Kristina? Like it's fun now, at least for me.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an artist in me and it isn't a side of me that really has been able to have much of an outlet being a farmer and a mom and all that. And so I've been like, oh, social media, it's a medium, it's an art medium. And you can really have a lot of fun and play with it.
Yeah.
Especially voiceover reels. That's like the newest thing. That's so ridiculously fun.
For some reason, I just lost my screen, which is very odd, and I'm not sure why. But anyways, I'm going to keep going here. So let's talk about then the rise from diamond to crown. Talk to us about what happened, and what was the span of time, first of all, between diamond and crown?
That was 2 years and a couple more months, I think.
Okay. And
wait, is that right? Hang on. I think so.
Okay.
No, maybe 3 years and a couple months. That's what it
years
was.
and a couple months.
Yeah.
Right. From diamond to crown. So talk to us about the rising through the ranks and the colored diamonds. How was that for you before you came to that crown run?
Yeah, so after I reached diamond, which was extraordinary, and I went to Diamond Club, which was unbelievable and built my belief, then I plateaued for 21 months. I never hit diamond again for that whole time, those whole 21 months. I was at executive. I think I even like hit director at one point. And it felt like Groundhog's Day. I felt like I kept waking up being like, oh, what do I have to do now? Next day, what do I have to do now? And it was like, it was the hardest part of my journey so far, was being stagnant. It's not easy, but in that place, as we've heard, our upline Sarah Rhinelander say, that's where leaders are born, is when you slog it out, you stick it out, you develop the grit. And I never gave up. That was the one thing I had going for me. You hear that and it sounds so cliche, or it sounds like, can that really be real? But if you don't give up and you still keep figuring out how to, get around the boulder. You keep trying to solve the Groundhog's Day dilemma. Finally, what happened for me is I postured up and I processed it up. I reached out to Chicken List, and I just kind of had an enough is enough moment. It was really hard. It was more uncomfortable being stagnant and having friends and family be like, oh, you're still doing that thing, huh? You're still investing in that plane ticket to that event. But they could, whether they understood it or not, they could feel that nothing was really changing. Then I knew it wasn't really changing in my bank account, which is kind of where the rubber meets the road.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this bear came out, this like mama bear inside, and was just like, enough, like what needs to shift? Because I am not giving up on my dreams. And I think Tracy Fujikani calls it beast mode. I think something like that happened where I was just like, rawr, like, yeah, this needs to happen. And within that same time period, I attracted Mary Beth Fleming onto my team. And she's incredible, as you all know, has a completely different skill set than me, is incredibly complementary in that way.
Mm.
And having her as my brand partner, who started to really rise in the ranks, up-leveled me. I was like, whoa, I gotta, and so honestly, it was after enrolling her that I finally became best friends with the back office. I was like, oh, you have to get in the driver's seat. You have to understand your numbers. And I had this whole epiphany. And I suddenly understood how to work with my team, who to talk to, what to say to them. I knew exactly what to say instead of like, hey, how's it going? Do you need any support? Suddenly it was like, oh, hey, you're right here. Like all you need to do is get this to go there. You wanting to do this goal? Do you want me to help you? Like it suddenly I became a leader, like I said, the captain of the ship. And it's been kind of linear growth ever since.
Mm-hmm. Phenomenal. Wow. 21 months in limbo. That's amazing. That's a long time. I don't know that I remember that part of your story. So
And most people would have given up.
Yeah, exactly. But you didn't. You did not give up. You were tenacious,
Mm-hmm.
and you did not lose sight of your dream. And would you say that you pivoted and started to take massive action, or did the prospecting just become, far more like the mini marathon vibe? What happened for you?
It's posture and belief is everything for me. If my posture and belief are up like they are right now after this retreat, it's not like I have to force myself to prospect. Sometimes we do have to put ourselves in that position. We have to have the discipline, sit down, work your list. But I've also found that I've done that and nothing happens if I don't have my posture and belief up. So working smarter, not harder, isn't like beating your head against the wall, prospecting and feeling kind of dull about it.
Yeah.
It's like going and figuring out, how do I need to like ignite my belief and posture? And when that happens, which it happened after I had this like incredible new brand partner who's like crushing it, all of a sudden my belief in what we have is like, oh yeah, we got something amazing. Like I need to go tell more people about this.
Right.
And so it just, translated into, and Leslie Zahn came on board with the company at that time too. It was all in the same exact time period.
Mm-hmm.
And she's really been such a blessing in cracking the whip and refining our systems and just tightening everything up to become more streamlined.
Agreed.
So.
Yeah, agreed. I never miss a Tuesday night call now with her. She's so powerful. She speaks my language, So, okay, let's pivot now. Let's get to the fun part. Let's talk about last week. So, you produced this beautiful retreat at the Whale Spirit Sanctuary. Let's talk about the location first, because wow, extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. It's the South Kona region. Will you just talk about the land for a moment?
Yeah. And what I'll say, just for starters, since this is Fierce Friday and we can be kind of fierce here, is I just want to bring awareness to anybody who lives here, anybody who's thinking about traveling here, that Native people are under undue stress right now because there's so many visitors to the island. So we could have only done our retreat in the way that we did, which was honoring the land, honoring Native people, amplifying Native voices. We had cultural practitioners at our retreat who are on our team who shared the chants and the practices of lay making and the wisdom, and they were both born in that area as well. So the synchronicities, I mean, you couldn't make this stuff up. I was on a solo retreat at that bay a year ago and got the vision, oh, you need to come here with your team and weave together, just really build those bonds and receive the medicine of that land. And I don't know that I even knew much more than that. I was really just like, I need to come and do what I'm doing here by myself with a bunch of other amazing women and men and all people who are drawn. So that's really what happened. I was out there paddleboarding every day, like, oh, I need to bring people here. And I say that piece about what the islands are undergoing, because all of a sudden it was like, whoa, am I doing the right thing bringing people here right now? And there's already so much tourism. And every piece of it, we just listened and felt so guided. And so to do it in a way that we had transformational experiences, that we asked permission to be there, that we gave offerings and followed protocol and gave deep mahalos and gratitude every step of the way, and listened to the stories of the leaders of the natives of that community and of the island, and just brought awareness to that many more people. Almost 50 more people are now more aware of the impact of development and the kind of the world we live in. And bringing it right back to Purium, just the idea that Indigenous people all over the world are suffering disproportionate houselessness because of the rising housing market, and disproportionate disease and addiction and illness and depression, and we have solutions for all of that. And that's really the beautiful part about it. So that's what I want to say about the land, because it can be easy to, glorify paradise. And I just think it's so important for us to be sensitive to what can happen if it's not done in a righteous way.
Mm-hmm. Without breath. Well, you absolutely did it with breath, with aloha. And it was very notable to me and to everyone that was there, I believe. And for that, I'm deeply grateful that I was able to attend and share in your leadership and watch and just, feel into what you have created with your gorgeous team of world changers, really, And so will you talk a little bit about what happened during the retreat?
We built community. I love Fraser Brooks' quote that we're in a business where strangers become friends and friends become family. And I even said, if we ever do this again, I'm not calling it a retreat. I'm calling it a family reunion, because that's really what it is. We didn't, it wasn't like I was making money on a retreat. It was all done at cost so I could bring my family together, our family. And so that's what really happened there. And we know that for those of us who have been in the company long enough to have been at events, we remember, remember when we met and it felt like we were returning to family, and we got to build relationships with people so that then when we go back on the Zoom, we're like, oh my gosh, hi friend, you're over there. And, and we can create these cross-team alliances. We're only friends because we danced and shook our butts together on the dance floor at events, right? Yes. And so that is priceless in this business, when people can come together and in the same town, share events and form those kinds of alliances, because we're in a different paradigm. We're not in the competitive paradigm. We're in the cooperative and collaborative paradigm. And to move paradigms, it just takes a lot of practice. So to practice that together, you know, everywhere we went, people were like, who are you? This one guy at the kayak place was like, I've never seen a group of so many women. Nobody's bitching at each other. Gorgeous tattoos. Like, where have you been all my life? And everywhere we went, people were just drawn because, you know, we're radiant from the superfoods. We're radiant from the love. And how many people get to go on retreat and earn money while they're there? We had 2 paydays during a 5-day retreat. Everybody got deposits into their bank account while we were there, having extraordinary amounts of playtime and rest time and bonding. And we balanced that. We did an action party every day. We got on our phones together and prospected and reached out. We had people enrolling brand partners during the retreat, people having new brand partners hitting Fast Start and UBT. We were doing Widen Your Reach all throughout the whole thing. So it was just that perfect balance of nourishment, work, play, rest, family time. Many of us had our children there. And so the children got to know each other and are all like, when's the next Purium event? You know, now they are, you know, getting buy-in with my kids in my, you know, online Purium business was huge for me. That was my personal agenda, one of them, of bringing your boys for my boys. And have my husband there too. And, you know, one of the reasons we picked that spot, it's his playground. And that's where we've kind of gone on our dates for our, you know, almost 2 decades of knowing each other, because he paraglides.
Yeah, so cool.
Paraglides
Saw him
and-
one day, you guys. Soul is paragliding in
Yeah.
front of the whale spirit sanctuary. We're like, oh my gosh, he looks like a bird flying up there. It was so cool. Oh, so awesome. Wow. Well, you know, gosh, Christina, you know, having been around for a while, I feel a little bit like an old timer, not as old as some of us, but I really feel that you have redefined what a Purium event can be, to be honest, you know? Yeah, you've redefined it. And on that note, before we open up for questions, because I do want to open up for questions, but before I do, I want to just underscore and highlight that it was a work play experience, which I loved how you did that, how you balanced it. You know, that was just so fun, that we would do these hour and a half long mini marathons. And then, you know, we'd spend the afternoon down at the beach, hanging out, snorkeling, and, you know, fellowshipping and connecting, and yeah, creating breakthroughs. I'm thinking of Leela Grace. And, you know, because everything, the way we do one thing is the way we do everything. And I wonder, is Leela Grace here? I wonder if you'd be willing to share about your breakthrough, because it was profound. I was a part of it, and I would just really love to hear your voice. Are you there? She might need to be unmuted, and I can't see the whole screen right now because something happened with my computer. Are you there, Leela?
Hello, I have kids in the background. I'm in my kitchen, but hi, thank you for calling on me.
Oh, thanks for showing up with kids in the background. This is the Million Mom Movement, after all, and this is how we roll.
Perfect.
So you had a big breakthrough, and I just wondered if you'd be willing to share about that.
I would love to. And you know what? I'm just going to step outside so there isn't so much background noise. Okay. We'll just let them do their thing. Okay. Yeah. And thank you so much, Stephanie. So this breakthrough was inspired by you, and that magical moment of you walking out of the water, holding your snorkel and fins, and like, hey, does anyone want to use this? And I'm standing there with Camille, and there's this part of me that wants to say yes, but I have been afraid of snorkeling for years and years. I had one bad experience and then never did it again. And you just said, oh, but it's just so magical. You know, you should really do it. You're in the, best place possible with all these good people. And Camille said, yeah, let's do it. I'll be with you. I'll keep you safe. So again, that community thing, like having someone right there kind of holding my hand as we do in this business, felt really important, really good. So we did it, and I didn't want to go out too far. This is really like my second time ever in my life snorkeling, but it was so magic and so, I could hear my breath. Like, when you have the snorkel on, you can really hear it. And my breath at first was really short and fast. And then it started to slow and I started to drop in. And I was like, okay, yes, I'm doing this. I'm breaking through a huge fear of mine. And of course, yeah, just ending the story, when I got out of the water, you were there and you're like, so yes, did you enjoy? And of course, I'm like, oh my God, thank you. Thank you for helping me face that fear, because yeah, I needed that. And your words have just stuck with me and will continue to help me in all of my growth in life. And you just said, yeah, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. When we face our fears, we have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And that is just beautiful and powerful. And yeah, one of the most memorable moments. I mean, there were so many, but that one definitely was profound. And yeah, just such a simple thing, mirroring, what we do in life, right? We get fearful and we just stay in a pattern. But then when we break through that, everything opens up so much possibility. So yeah, super grateful. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing. I'm so glad you're here today. And yeah, proud of you, Leela. Well done for just feeling the fear and doing it anyway. So I'd love to open up the call for anyone who has any questions for Kristina, any comments about anything that we've shared today. We'd love to hear your voice. And I'm going to need help from the council, because if folks raise their hand, I cannot see. Something happened with my screen. So if the council can.
I'm watching. I'll
Thanks,
watch for you.
Jody.
I'm going to unmute Cal. She's got her hand up. But before I do that, for anybody else who wants to say anything, click on participants. And on the bottom right, you'll see a little button that says more. Click on that. And there's a place where you can raise your hand. And we're more likely to see you if you're on camera. So, all right, I'm going to unmute Tal.
Thank you, Jody. Thanks, Stephanie, for putting this together. And oh my gosh, Kristina, I just want to burst out crying right now. I remember when you were stuck in that diamond stage, and you and I were in Hawaii together. Actually, we're in Kauai, and you were saying how you just want to re-rank diamond, and I said, I just want to rank it. I've never been it, and so we were in that same kind of frame of mind together. And then I stepped out for a couple of years and come back in, and wait, where's Kristina? What's she doing? What? How did that happen? Like, that was amazing. And I'm seeing such a difference in the way that you're presenting and the way that you're holding yourself compared to when we were meeting before years ago. And yeah, that breakthrough, that's huge. And I think that that's where I'm at right now too, is that where I'm stagnant. So you said you kind of went into beast mode, but I want to know, like, I don't know if you could break that down a little bit deeper for me. Like, what were those limiting things that you had to pass through to get over that hump, and then just keep soaring? Like, you just kept going and you're still going, So I don't know if you could just dig a little bit deeper into that. That would be great. I'd be very grateful. And I love you and miss you.
Yeah, thank you. Oh, you too. I remember last time we saw each other at Unconvention, which is, I think, the closest event to this retreat we just had, and can't wait for that. Thank you so much for your words. And I see you having like, yeah, it reminds me of that place of like, that determination and like waiting for that breakthrough. And the image that's coming to me, like I said, this mama bear that is like ferociously protecting our why. Like, I was at some point, as I was getting in that stagnant place, I was starting to let the why slip away. Like, oh, maybe that is too big of a dream. Maybe that is too much to ask. Maybe I'm not quite cut out to make that happen. Like subconsciously, there's that pattern of like, yeah, maybe I should settle, like, and then it was like, oh no, like the bear comes out and is like, don't you dare give up, you know, and like protecting that why from those voices. And, you know, I think as moms, like we probably need to tap into Mama Bear when we need her, because she's extraordinarily helpful when we have something that we need to protect, or someplace we need to grab our cubs and just go, you know. And that's just the image that's coming to me, is that, I mean, it sounds so simple, but it's like reconnecting with our why, like letting it really burn and ignite. And, you know, if that, I feel like that was probably the most beneficial thing about the whole retreat, was that people got to really dig in and find that next layer. And there's personal development work we can do to do that. You know, getting to that place or the why that makes us cry, and then even letting it grow, like being like, oh wait, I'm comfortable, my cup is full, but what happens in overflow? What happens if I could fill other people's cups? And Mary Beth Fleming had that breakthrough on this retreat, where her why was like, oh, I want to be able to travel to Africa and, you know, have a home here and support my husband and his music. But then after this retreat, she was like, I need to build a retreat center. Like, I need to build a place where we can come together like this. This is everything. I saw this corporate video that they made that I'd forgotten about, where they had taken clips from all these different leaders. And the clip they took of me was me saying, something like, all that we do in this business, or all I do as a leader, is form containers and let people rise up in that place. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant. It's so true. It's like, just put together the pieces and form the container, and then people have their experiences in that and rise up into leadership. And, you know, it's like the ultimate leadership is like where I'm actually not part of it at all. Like, I get to step back and just watch it happen. And that really felt like what happened on this retreat. It wasn't centered around me. I just like brought all the right element. It was so not just me. It was like everybody. I think Alea's on this call. She's really the one who connected us with that center. You know, everybody played their role. And so for Mary Beth to have that new expanded why of like, oh wait, it's not just about me. I'm like, yes, that's how it's been my whole life. Like, of course it would have been easier to just garden with my little family and call it good. But I've been asked to create something bigger, to bring people together, because amazing things happen in that place. And so maybe it's for you to like finding a why that's even bigger. But maybe it's even deeper and more personal. Like, it could be in either direction. But that's really was for me. I wasn't willing to go back to living like scrapping by poverty. And I wasn't willing to give up on my bigger dream. And between the two of those, that personal and that more, you know, service oriented why, I just was like, take my cubs. I'm like, gotta go.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. Thanks for your question, Tal. Does anyone else have a question for Kristina? You see anything else there, Jode? Nope.
I am not seeing anything, no.
Okay. So here's what I want to say. Thank you, Kristina. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your leadership. Mahalo for your wisdom and sharing your rise with us. This has been so juicy, so meaningful for me as your friend, to really hold you in this container of Fierce Friday and to really witness your fierceness. So blessings to you and Soul and your gorgeous boys, who I can't wait to watch grow up. That's where I'm at. I want to watch Kristina's and Erica's children grow up. So that's meaningful to me. I want to talk about how Purium is opening up with live events. So that's how I want to end this call, because as someone who has built her business on live events with healthy happy hours, wealthy happy hours, at my own home and at Purium Corporate, that's starting to happen again. So Dave and Amy are doing a healthy happy hour in Long Beach, August 8th, I believe it is. And then there's another healthy happy hour, business training happening in Long Beach at September 17th and 18th for Amy's birthday. So it'll be a business training with Leslie Zan, and then there's probably going to be a party at night, and Tal knows we've been to that party. There will be dancing. Bring on the dancing is all I can say. Because at our conventions, we dance on Saturday nights, and it's so fun. So that's happening in Los Angeles, Long Beach, I believe, September 17th and 18th. And then October 22nd, 23rd, there's going to be a business training with Sonia Magruder, Melissa Hansen, Amy Venner, and Leslie Zan. And I will also be at that one. So I'm going to be at both of those with my teams, because I have West Coast teams, Midwest teams, and then East Coast teams. And so I'm really excited that we are opening up to live events. I cannot recommend highly enough. You've heard what Kristina was sharing about the breakthroughs Leela Grace had, and there were so many breakthroughs on our team training call yesterday. So if you missed that and you're on my team and you want to know more about that, I'm happy to share that recording with you. But breakthroughs, diamond runs, crown runs happen at live events. Okay, that's where the diamond run was launched for me, was at Purium's convention in 2016. And then at the 2017 convention, when I ranked green diamond, it wasn't enough for me to run for blue. I'm like, no, I'm running for crown. And that run continues. I've never lost sight of that dream. So thank you for the embodiment, Kristina, of bringing that crown, that 2-star crown energy to Fierce Friday, to the Million Mom Movement, for embodying the Million Mom Movement, sister, with every breath. And we love you. We're in support of you 100%. Keep going, ladies. Keep going. The world needs you. The world needs what we have, the health and the wealth. All right. Aloha and mahalo to all my Hawaiian sisters, and to Kristina's whole team. Thank you for being here on Fierce Friday. Go out there and share this on our YouTube channel, is where the recording will be in just a few hours. We love you. We thank God for you. Bye-bye.